Hello friends, welcome to my channel, myself Parag Jambulkar. In this video, we will discuss bubble sort and its variants. Bubble sort already we have studied in algorithms. So how bubble sort works? It works in passes. In each pass, we get the largest element at the end. So how it works? We compare first element with second. If first element is larger than second element, then we swap it. If first element is smaller than second one, then we keep as it is. Again, we proceed. Then we compare second and third element. If second is larger than third, then we swap. If second is smaller than third one, then we keep as it is. Again, same way. We compare third and fourth, then we compare fourth and fifth, then we compare fifth and sixth. At the end, we get largest element at the end. So this is the past one. Again, so in pass one we get largest element at the end, then we skip it, and remaining n minus one element again we compare like this. Again we compare first and second, second and third, third and fourth. If while comparing, if first one element is smaller than larger than the another one, then we swap it. So this is how bubble sort works. But by nature, it is a serial one. Bubble sort is serial in nature, as each passes should be done in a sequence. So bubble sort cannot be parallelized. So to parallelize bubble sort, we have another form that is called as odd even transposition sort. So odd even transposition sort is just a parallel version of bubble sort. There are two variants. One is P is equal to N. P means number of processes, N means total number of elements. So that's the first variant. Total number of processes equal to total number of elements. That is the first variant. Second variant is total number of processes smaller than total number of elements. That is N. That is second variant. Now see how it works. So we'll take this one example. So from this it will be very clear. So P is equal to N. Here we have taken N is equal to 8. Total number of elements 8. So number of processes that we require is equal to 8. So P is equal to 8. Here you can see. P is equal to 8. We have numbered them like this. P1, P2, P3 up to P8. Now see, it requires total n phases. Here you can see there are total n phases. Out of that, n by 2 are odd phases, n by 2 are even phases. So see, first phase is odd phase, second phase is even phase, odd phase, even phase, again odd phase, odd phase, even phase. Now see, what work is done in odd phase? Look at this. This is the odd index, this is the even index. This is the odd index, this is the even index. This is the odd index, this is the even index. Odd and even index. In odd phase, what we are doing, we are taking odd index number. So this is the odd index, right? One is the odd. So we are comparing it with next even index number. So we will compare 8 and 3. Then again, this is the odd index, we will compare with the next even index. Again, we will take odd index and we will compare with the even index. We will take odd index and then we will compare with the even index. Likewise, we will proceed further. So here 8 is larger than 3, so we'll swap it. So 3 and 8. We'll swap it in the sense process P1 and P2 they will exchange 8 and 3 because every process has one number. P1 has 8 number, P2 has 3 number. P1 is a process, P2 is a process. So this process will swap these two numbers. Then 5 and 6. So 5 is smaller than 6, so we will keep as it is. 4 and 2, again 4 is larger than 2. So we will swap. So 2 will come to this side, 4 will come to this side. 1 and 7, so 1 is smaller than 7. So we will keep as it is. Then in even phase, now see P1 is the odd phase, so we will skip it. So we will start from the even index. So 2 is the even index. So here we will compare even index number with next odd index number. Even index number with next odd index number. Even index with next even um, even index number with next odd index number, and there is nothing to compare with 7, so we will keep as it is. Again same procedure. 3 will be as it is. 8 and 5, so 5 is smaller, 8 is larger, so we will swap it. 6 and 2, again 2 is smaller, 6 is larger, so we will swap it. 4 and 1, again 1 is smaller, 4 is larger, so we will swap it. So in this way, in every phase, so next will be odd phase, again we will start from the odd index. Next is the even index, so we will start from the even index. We will compare with the next odd index. Odd phase, odd phase, even phase. So after n phases, these are total n phases, n is equal to 8 here, we'll get this sorted array. Now see here complexity, so see total parallel execution time, so that we call TP, that will be theta of n. Why theta of n? Because here we require n phases. N means total number of elements. So here we require n phases. That's why our parallel execution time will be theta of n. So see, one time for this, one time for this, one time for this. So there are total n phases. So that's why parallel execution time will be of theta of n. Now see cost. So how we calculate cost? I have created one video on performance metrics of parallel system. So in that we have seen different performance metrics. So one is parallel execution time, one more is cost. So how cost is calculated? We multiply this parallel execution time with P. P means total number of processes. So total number of processes into parallel execution time. It gives cost. So how many processes here we have used? N. N means this here. You can see. Total number of elements is equal to total number of processes. P is equal to N. So we have to multiply TP with N. So if you multiply PP means N. If you multiply this with N, so you get this. So cost is theta of N square. Now see, if you compare with the best serial sorting algorithm, so our quick sort or merge sort, these are the best serial sorting algorithm. So their complexity is theta of N log N. Now see, if we compare cost with this theta n log n, that's the best serial sorting algorithm complexity, this is larger, our cost is larger, and whenever cost is larger than our serial sorting algorithm complexity, we say this is not a cost optimal. See, again I am repeating, whenever cost whenever cost is larger than serial serial algorithm complexity, whenever cost is larger than serial algorithm complexity, we say this is not a cost optimal. Now see, now we'll consider another variant where p is smaller than n. So n is number of elements, p is number of processes. So in previous example, same example we have taken. So 8 elements were there. So in previous case we have taken 8 processes. But here we have to take number of processes smaller than total number of elements. So here we will consider only 4 processes. So as we have taken less number of processes than the total number of elements, so every process will have n by p elements. Every process will have n by p elements. So n is 8 and p is 4. So n by p means 8 by 4. So 2. So every process will have 2 elements. So see, p1 have these 2 elements, p2 will have these 2 elements, p3 will have these 2 elements, p4 will have these 2 elements. Now see how comparison is done. P1 will apply best sorting serial sorting algorithm and will sort it. P2 will apply best serial sorting algorithm and will sort it. In the same way, P3 will sort this and P4 will sort it. So after that, there will be comparison. Compare and exchange. That operations will be done. So they will compare and swap this set with each other. So here it will require p by 2 odd phases and it will require p by 2 even phases. Now we will discuss about the complexity. So parallel execution time that is required. Now see, every process has to compare, has to sort that element. P2 has to sort this, P3 has to sort this. So every process has to sort whatever the elements are allocated to them. So local sorting is done. Every process has to sort whatever the elements they get. So for that, that is the complexity. Now see, for best serial sorting algorithm, we require complexity n log n, theta of n log n. But here, every process got n by p elements. So replace n by n by p. So n by p into log n by p. So best serial sorting algorithm requires n log p, n log n, right? N log n complexity. But here every process has n by p elements. So for sorting, we require n by p log n by p. Just n is replaced by n by p, as every process has n by p elements. For comparison, so these many comparisons will be there, so that's why theta of n. And for communication, they have to communicate this with each other. So theta of n comparison means they will compare this set with each other. So for that theta of n, and communication, they will communicate these sets with each other. So for that theta of n, that is the parallel execution time. Now see, to make it cost optimal. So when it will become cost optimal, so when we multiply P with TP, so when you multiply this TP with P means number of processes, that should be smaller or equal to our serial sorting algorithm. So to make it cost optimal, P should be order of log n. If P, that is number of processes, is of order log n, in that situation, this variant will be cost optimal. So what do you mean by cost optimal? Our cost, that is a p into tp, should be smaller than serial sorting algorithm, should be smaller or equal to serial sorting algorithm complexity, then we say it is a cost optimal. So in this way there are two variants. One is p is equal to n, and another is p smaller than n, that is number of processes smaller than total number of elements. So friends, I hope you like this video. If yes, then click on like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press bell icon so that you will get notification of my next video. So stay connected. Thank you.